Cindy Carter has cooked up a food story with a different flavor. Willa's shortbread cookies are popping up in gourmet shops all over the Southeast. It's all thanks to a husband and wife who mix, bake, and package every single cookie just the way its namesake would have liked it.
Eric Ryan gets a little cranky in the morning. It's not his attitude, it's part of his job.
Why do we do it? We got bills to pay just like everybody else. And you know, this is our sole means of support. So we've got to make this work.
Cranking out cookies is hard work.
Oh, I sit here and think about all sorts of exciting things I'd rather be doing than doing this.
But the reward is sweet.
I keep thinking about all that money I'd like to make doing it.
Willa's Shortbread, tucked away in Madison, was originally meant to be a part-time opportunity for Eric and his wife Teresa to make a little extra money. But now,
all right, let's start mixing.
The Ryans are full-time, apron-wearing bakers, a far cry from their former lives as teacher and electrical distribution equipment salesman.
Really, we had no experience.
They didn't even have the name. Willa is Teresa's sister's husband's mother. Got that? And Willa first cooked up the company's signature shortbread cookie recipe almost 40 years ago.
Willa started this out of her home kitchen in Hendersonville, North Carolina, up in the mountains in the mid-70s to have product for a local, for their country club. They needed a dessert type thing, and she had a recipe for the shortbread that she did.
That recipe caught on, and soon Willa was selling her shortbread cookies in markets and gourmet stores across North Carolina.
Oh, flour.
But 10 years ago, the shortbread's namesake decided to hang up her apron. That's when Willa's son and daughter-in-law, along with Eric and Teresa, decided to put theirs on.
Initially, it was, wouldn't this be fun to do? The four of us could do it as a part-time job. We'll keep the business in the family. It's going to be fun. We'll make some extra money.
At first, Eric says they relied heavily on the cookies' existing clientele in North Carolina, which is why Willa's name remains on the packaging. But slowly, very slowly, the classic shortbread cookies started catching on closer to the company's new Middle Tennessee kitchen.
The business really started to develop probably 5 years ago, to where it's really become more self-sustaining.
And as their business grew, so did the workload, which proved to be too heavy for the Ryans' partners, who decided to throw in the kitchen towel.
They backed out. They still help out. They're still definitely a part of the business, and somebody needs to get the cookies out of the oven. That means we got cookies.
Got cookies? Boy, do they ever. The alarm signals the end of an approximately 45-minute per batch baking process. During their busiest season, holiday season, the Ryans will fill 3, 4, even 500 cookie tins in a week. Willa's original shortbread recipe is pretty simple, which Eric says is one of the reasons it's so darn delicious. Unenriched, unbleached flour, butter, and sugar for the classic recipe, and all-natural flavorings were added for the lemon pecan and key lime almond shortbread cookies prepared during our visit. Mix, drop, and bake. Over the years, the Ryans have enjoyed building their cookie collection. In addition to the classic, flavors include the company's Honey Series, Spicy Cheese Bites, even Tennessee Moonshine.
That's been real interesting, learning about all the different moonshines as we experiment. It'll look like an empty liquor cabinet in here some days when we get done.
Once they come out of the oven, the cookies are then placed in front of several fans for a quick cooling. And let me tell you, the smell is incredible. You can smell the lemon pecan, and I'm just gonna have to have a moment here. The Ryans bake 3 days a week and spend the rest of the time bagging and boxing up orders. Together, they have their hands in every aspect of this family business.
It is a feeling of accomplishment when you go to to a market or to a show, and you've got people standing there just wanting your products, you know, you're like, okay, we're doing something good here. We're doing something right.
Something right enough to be awarded one of the best sweets of the South by Southern Living magazine. So the Ryans will keep cranking out the little cookies from an old-fashioned recipe. They understand now Willa was onto something pretty tasty and very special.
One of our mottos is everybody loves shortbread. And it's so true, because you do. And when you get really good shortbread and it just kind of melts in your mouth and you see people and they just like, it reminds them so much of, you know, grandma or just childhood. You know, I think that's huge.